Skies. Tonight, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. High 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
My goal was to finally get in shape. Not to be focusing again on my moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis. So I finally made a decision to talk to my dermatologist about Humira. Humira works inside my body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to my symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis saw 75% skin clearance on Humira, and the majority of people were clear or almost clear in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Set a new goal today. Ask your dermatologist about Humira, because with Humira, clear skin is possible.
Your paycheck. Your family depends on it. But if something happened to you, you need life insurance. And chances are SelectQuote can get it for you for under $1 a day. SelectQuote found Alec, 38, a $500,000 policy for under $21 a month. Phil, 41, smokes an occasional cigar. Still, SelectQuote got him a $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. SelectQuote found Kenesha, 39, a $350,000 policy for under $14 a month. SelectQuote's secret? They impartially shop a select group of highly rated companies like these for your best rates. Give your family the security it needs at a price you can afford. Call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
You're taking a live look at Times Square in New York City. We've got mostly cloudy skies, 69 degrees, but as you can see, New Yorkers up and at 'em and heading out this afternoon. And I tell you what, this is a place where we have a lot of shopping going on, especially as we head into the holiday season. And it's been another strong showing at the malls and retail stores. Sales were up again for the first part of October, and it all has to do with the weather. Joining us live from New York City is our business weather expert, Paul Walsh. Paul, great to have you here.
Hey, Kyla.
Now, Paul, I have to admit, when the weather gets a little cooler, you know, I went out and bought a couple sweaters too. Not so easy if it stays so warm. I mean, tell us about how weather plays a role in those numbers.
Weather plays a big role, particularly during the beginning of fall and the beginning of spring. Of course, in the fall, it's the transition season, so we're out getting our new clothes for the new season. But the thing that really triggers that demand for those new clothes is not so much the calendar, but the weather. So when you have these sort of swings where the temperature drops all of a sudden down into the 50s or even the 40s in the evening, that really feels cold, and it really triggers that shopping urge. And for retailers, it's exactly what they want to happen right now, and so we're seeing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you get out there, and if it's still 90 degrees, you're probably not really wanting to go buy that winter coat.
Right.
So let's talk about looking ahead to the holidays, because the weather certainly plays a big role there, too. And, of course, the holiday season can make or break retailers.
Yes, exactly. And Kyle, if you remember last holiday, we had that thing called the polar vortex. That actually had a pretty significant impact on holiday shopping, specifically across the eastern half of the country, and it really drove strong demand for things that keep us all warm, so hats and gloves and boots, but it was not so good for holiday traffic. Well, this year, more than likely, it's going to be warmer, or I should say milder, possibly much milder, which means there'll actually be more people shopping. There'll be less demand for those things that keep us warm, but there'll be more demand for electronics and toys and things like that. So I think overall the weather bodes really well for retailers for the holiday season, and I think retailers are really ready for it and they're looking forward to it.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes too we have to watch out because that winter weather can keep us inside, and I know sometimes that will affect who goes out into the stores, and you'll get more online shopping, right, if you get a heavier winter season.
That's exactly right, and that's really where we are as a technology-led country now, where more and more people are able to shop online, but that's still a small percentage of the overall retail sales number. So at the end of the day, what retailers really want is they want people in the store, and this year I think the likelihood is we're going to see a lot more people shopping and a lot more people spending because they'll have more money in their pocket because it's not going to cost as much to heat their homes.
Ah, that's another good thing to think about. Thank you so much, Paul Walsh,
right.
our business weather expert. Let's head over to Mark.
And guys, we might not be seeing a lot of people flocking to the stores in the Southwest as we have another round of tropical downpours on the way through. This summer has been anything but ordinary across the Southwest as several different tropical systems has affected us. Norbert in the Tucson area, for example, almost 2 inches of rain. Odile then gave another third of an inch, and now the forecast gives us about a half an inch from Simon. This is well above average for this portion of the world. We look at right now, and we're already seeing a big swath of rain. This is California, here's Arizona, and already starting to see that line up, right? We're seeing the storms really lining up towards Nevada. That's something that we're going to watch very carefully as that moisture from Simon moves through. Flooding a concern, and more details next.
This is Bob. Bob's on a first date, so he's not thinking about where to buy his next set of tires. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. He could view the complete selection of Continental tires at TireRack.com. Then he'd have the confidence to drive safely in any weather. But Bob's not thinking about tires. Bob's thinking, should I tell her about that thing in her teeth? TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
How do we get a little fun in the sun for free? I stayed one time.
We stayed another time.
And now we're all staying one night free.
Great endings begin here. Right now, when you book at any of these Choice hotels and take 2 separate trips, you earn 1 night free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Andrew. Rita. Sandy. Meet Chris. Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Gorilla Tape, of course. Gorilla Tape's double-thick adhesive grips rough and uneven surfaces for a strong, weather-resistant hold for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Rich, chewy caramel, rolled up in smooth milk chocolate.
All aboard.
Rolo, get your smooth on.
This October, Ghost Hunters is back for a 10th anniversary celebration, including the 200th episode with the biggest Ghost Hunter surprise in a decade. Grant returns to Tabs for one of their most intense.
Catch the excitement of the pennant chase on MLB Network. MLB Tonight's analysts bring you live look-ins while breaking down pivotal moments from every big game all night long, plus exclusive broadcasts of 2 Division Series games in October. All the pennant chase drama this September on MLB Network.
Brought to you by Mazda. What do you drive?
Want to lose denture paste, dudes?
I do. It's yucky.
But chewy.
Paste is messy.
Seabond wafers hold clean with no ooze.
Neat.
Oh, yeah! We're bonding. C-Bond, lose the use.
As the face of Gold Bond Men's Lotion, I just have to say, what a face.
Gold Bond Men's Lotion. Skin strengthening proteins plus 7 intensive moisturizers. Dry skin becomes healthy, good looking. Gold Bond Men's Lotion.
Man up with Gold Bond.
Shop everything home at Wayfair.com.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. High 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Watching Weather Center Live, and we have a super typhoon threatening millions in Japan.
Yeah, some are saying the strongest system on the planet since Haiyan, if you remember Haiyan about a year ago. So let's check in with hurricane specialist Michael Lowry with your full tropical update. And Michael, a very impressive storm.
Hey, this is not a sight you see every day, and Mark, and in fact, not a sight that you see every year. This is the strongest, easily the strongest storm, hurricane, typhoon, cyclone, whatever part of the earth you're on that we've seen at least in a year, or in about a year since Haiyan, as Mark was saying. Here's Vangfang. It's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which is the good news. So we can admire it from afar. It's not impacting any land areas for the time being, but it will be headed toward Japan later this week. This is what it looks like on the infrared picture, the enhanced picture. Now, keep in mind there's a time difference, so even though it's daylight here in the United States, it is nighttime there, so we don't have the visible picture, but we do have this image, and it's showing a almost perfectly symmetrical storm right here, meaning it's circular. It's, if you slice it in half, the right side looks the same as the left side, and then that cloud-free eye right in the middle here, sinking motion, and just textbook, guys. I mean, this is, again, as strong as these storms get, and it's just impossible to say whether or not it's going to get any stronger. It's about at its peak at this point. Now, let's compare this, giving you some perspective. Oftentimes people ask me, well, how is this compared to Katrina? Well, on the left is what the satellite presentation of Katrina looked like at its strongest, when it was a Category 5 hurricane south of Louisiana, which is up here. And this is Vangfang on the right. And you can see how those cloud tops, much angrier, much colder, a lot more of those reds and kind of deep, dark colors on the right side from Vangfang. So a stronger cyclone, a stronger tropical cyclone than Katrina. It's what we call annular. And annular is just a fancy scientific word for circular. And this only happens with very rare, intense hurricanes. Only about 4% of tropical cyclones are annular in their shape. It means they're highly symmetrical. They have that very large eye, and their peak winds are almost always 130 miles per hour or greater. Here's one of the big key factors from a forecasting standpoint. They take some time to weaken, take a lot of time to weaken, in fact, and that's the concern with this one, is that it's so strong that it's not just going to all of a sudden unravel. In the forecast, taking it toward Japan, there's a big ridge of high pressure that's going to steer it in the same general direction as Fanfun, although this one's going to be a little bit more toward the west. So Kadena Air Force Base, where our U.S. servicemen and women are there, 25,000 plus, they're going to be impacted by more than likely a strong tropical system, typhoon conditions, hurricane conditions possible Thursday into Friday, and then moving up into Japan after that. Mark and Kyla, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Well, hey, tomorrow morning, you will be able to catch a rare sight in the sky. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in North America or South America or Eastern Asia, the Pacific Islands. You get the idea. Australia even, they'll be able to see this.
Yeah, this is going to be a wide-viewed lunar eclipse, and the second one of 2014, and it happens early in the morning. Kelly Beatty explains what makes this one so special.
I've got a real treat for night owls and early risers. On the morning of October 8th, before dawn, you can see a total eclipse of the moon. These don't happen very often. That happens when the moon completely gets immersed in the umbra, or the dark shadow cast by the Earth. Now, this is a very slow motion event. It's going to take about 3 hours from start to finish. And the great thing is it's going to be simultaneous for everybody all across North America. We'll all be able to see it. But those of you out west, you're going to have a much better view because the moon will be higher up in the sky. It'll have set on the East Coast by the time the eclipse happens. So when does it happen? The partial eclipse starts at 2:15 a.m. That's Pacific Daylight Time. The middle of the eclipse totality starts at 3:25 and lasts for just about an hour. And then the partial phase ends at 5:34 a.m. It's really a slow event, but beautiful, because when the moon is in the umbra, in that dark shadow, it actually turns a red from light leaking around the edge of the Earth and into the umbra, coloring it just like sunset. It's a great event, and I hope the skies are clear for you that night. If you should miss it, don't worry, because there's another one coming up next April. I wish you clear skies for that. And for more information, go to skyandtelescope.com.
All right, so will you have clear skies? We'll take a look at the map here. You can see the center of the country looking really nice if you're in Minneapolis or Kansas City. You have a really good shot at it.
Yeah, and hopefully you can see that beautiful red color that the moon will take on in the southeast, the southern plains. Not so good in the northeast corridor. Storms could put a damper on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, severe weather still in the forecast tonight, including New York City and Boston.
Ahead on Weather Center Live, the timing and the potential impacts. We've got you covered right after your local weather on the 8th.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I let him know every time I save $1.
Every time.
Now there is a tool made for you. Introducing Savings Catcher from Walmart. It compares prices to top stores in your area. If there's a lower advertised price, Walmart will give you the difference on an e-gift card.
Oh, money!
For a limited time, get 2 times the Savings Catcher reward dollars when you redeem to your Bluebird card.
Every penny counts.
Yep. Join the millions of people saving money with Savings Catcher. Go to walmart.com/Savings Catcher. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Sir, we're going to need you on the runway.
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
For over a decade, doctors have been prescribing Nexium to patients just like you. For many, prescription Nexium helps heal acid-related erosions in the lining of the esophagus. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Avoid if you take clopidogrel. Nexium 40 milligram is only available by prescription. Talk to your doctor. For free home delivery, enroll in Nexium Direct today.
So you're saying you're gonna give me my credit score for free, right? And then you're gonna ask me for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low. 2 weeks later, look, Credit Karma.
Oh, are you talking to websites again?
It's saying free credit score.
Credit Karma? Yeah, it's actually free. Look, you don't have to put in your credit card information. Credit Karma. Really free credit scores. Really free.
Fist bump.
You may not be a prepper now, but you will be. Whether the next disaster is man-made or wrought by Mother Nature, you need a plan. WiseFoodStorage.com's emergency gourmet meals are made in the USA, delicious, easy to prepare, just add water, and packaged and proportioned perfectly, eliminating waste and creating a shelf life of up to 25 years. Why face your next emergency on an empty stomach? Request your free sample today at WiseFoodStorage.com.
This October, Ghost Hunters is back for a 10th anniversary celebration, including the 200th episode with the biggest Ghost Hunter surprise in a decade. Grant returns to Tabs for one of their most intense investigations ever.
This is a trip.
Ghost Hunters. All new episodes premiere tomorrow at 9, part of Sci-Fi's 31 Days of Halloween.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. High 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On camera. Oh my God. Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Some of these are huge. Oh my God, at all the hail. I've never seen this much hail before.
I kind of think it's snowing.
Look at the hail! Oh my gosh, this is unreal.
That was a lot of hail. Thanks for joining us on Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Kyla Grogan. So severe weather is expected to hit the Northeast today and into tomorrow. And those living in cities like you see here, New York City and Boston, you should be preparing for storms that could bring heavy rain and strong wind.
Yeah, a couple of different areas that we're watching for severe weather. Starting off with what's going on right now, a tornado watch from southern Indiana all the way over to portions of West Virginia. That watch area goes until 9 o'clock this evening. Then a secondary area of severe weather forms in the Northeast.
That's right. And you can see there in the area in orange all the way from Washington, D.C. to Philly, New York, even Providence in line for some of this severe weather. And it's dangerous in the overnight hours. For an in-depth look at the threat for millions of people through tomorrow morning, we're going to head now to our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. He's tracking it all in the lab.
Thanks, Kyla. And it is an area today that has some severe threat. Some of the same areas that had lots of hail yesterday, as you were showing. Now, I've done a little bit of tweaking here. I have the severe threat now from just about the Louisville area. I've pulled it out of Cincinnati, only extreme southern parts of Ohio, and then down into parts of West Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee here in red. I'm thinking tornado condition index about a 2 to 3 within a 50-mile range. The Storm Prediction Center says there's about a 40% chance of a tornado within their overall watch that Mark and Kyla just showed. One severe thunderstorm warning. It's a very interesting structure to it. It continues to have that. I'll detail that in a moment. A line of thunderstorms down along the Ohio River, well down south and east of Cincinnati. And this map shows the streamlines, how the winds at the surface are going. And they again today are coming in from the southwest, while aloft the winds are coming in from the west-northwest. So that's why we have a tornado watch. There's plenty of turning of the winds with height. Not a tremendous amount of instability, though, to tap into that, which is why we just have the one severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. You can see here in the water vapor imagery, though, that west-northwest flow I was talking about with a little bit of a disturbance right there. You see sinking motion in the reds, rising motion where the clouds have formed up in Ohio. So that's a little disturbance on the interface there, and that's going to head its way tonight and tomorrow toward the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. Right now, it is touching off this little bow echo, sort of a bow echo. It's got an interesting structure. I'll zoom in on it. They're heading toward the area just around Lexington, Kentucky, and it has had this dual structure for a couple hours now. One big storm, another big storm that's flanked, a little notch in between. So can never totally rule out a tornado when there's a little notch like that. But right now, severe thunderstorm warning, Franklin, Scott, and Woodford counties going southeast at 50 to at times close to 55 miles per hour. So it's tough to keep up with this. Right about now, it's right about the Mulberry area. Frankfurt about 338, Lexington about 401, damaging wind gusts and maybe some 1-inch hail. That's what we've seen with this, and probably will continue to likely to see. This was a storm that about an hour ago was just north and east of Louisville, so it is hauling off toward the east-southeast. Here's the high detail radar on that, and showing that 1 core, 2 core, little notch in between, so there's some inflow that's coming in there. No tornado warning, but can't totally rule that out. It would be just north of the Frankfurt area. Now, I took a slice 5 minutes ago through this storm when it was right about there was the leading edge of the rain. And so let's go take a look at that slice. This is a slice that goes from west-northwest at the left to east-southeast at the right, and then height is the vertical. So this is a storm. The top's only about 35,000 feet. This is pretty much a scale as you would see it if you were looking laterally. And so this storm is really leaning over. Look how it leans over on itself, and then the anvil comes out horizontally. Usually the storm, if here is the vertical right through where the leading edge of the rain is at the surface, you would see the storm tilting up like this. So we'd see the thunderstorm up like that. So the usual tilt is somewhere in the 15 to 30 degree amount. This is about tilted over 60 degrees. So there's pretty strong updraft coming in there to keep this rain and hail suspended from falling down to the ground, but it's just not. It has a little bit too much fast winds there at 5 miles up that it's leaning it over on top of itself. So not the ideal structure, not the kind of thing that you usually get for supercell thunderstorms. Another one of these lines coming south and east of Cincinnati near the Maysville area. Not severe warned, but could get some 50-mile gusts on that. Here's that jet stream I was talking about. Disturbance that's now over Illinois will carry east tonight within that and push its way toward the mid-Atlantic, the northeast. Strong winds aloft I was just talking about. Atlantic moisture now begins to push in. So again, that strong turning. I've given a torque on overnight of 2 and into tomorrow morning for some of these areas. The storms from today will let up. The Atlantic moisture kicks in, and so parts of Maryland, maybe Virginia, maybe D.C., but certainly Delaware, southeast PA, New Jersey, over into southern New York, Long Island, New York City, and then parts of southern New England. A damaging wind threat, locally heavy rain, and a torque on of 2, 20% chance of a tornado wind at 50 miles overnight, and then continuing into past the dawn hours tomorrow, up into parts of Boston, the eastern parts, the southeast parts of New England, and then tomorrow in that northwest flow, parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas, again with another round of mostly hail. So, Mark, it's a stormy pattern, and you'll tell us more about some storms coming to the southwest.
Yeah, you know, people in the southwest, Doc, think they're in Groundhog Day. It's just repeating again and again. More heavy rain to the southwest, which will then get stretched out into the center of the country. So another tropical event for the southwestern United States. This is what's left from Simon, believe it or not. You're seeing these high colors kind of fading out, but this is the high-resolution model where this heavy rain will be going to. And the model thinks that by overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, southern Arizona will see heavy rain, then eventually northern Arizona, and even into New Mexico by the time we go through the day on Wednesday. A prolonged period of rain means 1 to 2 inches of rain near Phoenix or Yuma, but really you could see even heavier amounts once you get to the front range of the Rockies, as we will see days of rain here stretching in towards this old stationary front, moisture streaming in from the Gulf and from the tropics. So hefty rains, Kyla, including flooding in the center of the country.
Thank you, Mark. Hey, the weather turned deadly in Texas after strong winds blew trees down in the Houston area. As storm specialist Carl Parker shows us, it happened when 2 thunderstorms clashed together.
It was a very rough early afternoon in the Houston metro area. A lot of reports of trees down and strong wind. And here's a look at some of those trees that came down with those thunderstorms yesterday afternoon. We actually saw a cell merger, a couple of them, right across the Houston metro. And that was part of the reason why these winds were so strong. And let's take a look at the radar loop here and notice that there's this line that's coming down ahead of this big group of storms right there. That is what's called an outflow boundary. So that's the leading edge of cooler air. Then also notice these storms, they really blow up right as that line comes down. So it's helping to lift the atmosphere and make those storms even stronger. And that is right about where there was, unfortunately, a fatality due to a falling tree that came down across an SUV there in spring. You also notice the cell coming up from the south right in here, outflow boundary associated with that. They collide in there, and then we see very intense storms right where that southern storm comes up and collides with the northern line, fortunately over less populated areas of the Houston metro, northeast Harris County, and southern parts of Liberty County, but very strong storms coming from different directions. And because of those cell mergers, those collisions, they ended up being very strong, producing damaging wind for a period of time yesterday. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Carl. Our top 5 videos of the day are next.
Yeah, we've got scenes like this one. Imagine being entrapped, you know, in this kind of severe weather. We've got a tornado warning in Grant and Owen County right now in northern Kentucky. Dr. Forbes was just analyzing this storm.
Take cover now if you're in this area in Grant and Owen counties.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. High 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready App and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Let's do a reality check. Kids will be kids. Dogs will be dogs. So let's get some paint that's more than just paint. Made to stand up to this and look beautiful for years. Let's lose the old marks and messes and stop new ones in their tracks. Let's worry-proof our walls. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Behr Premium Plus with Easy Clean Finish starting at $25.97 a gallon.
I use it to stay in touch with work and my kids.
SafeLink, the free phone program, free cell, free text, and free minutes is your connection to safety. If you qualify for programs such as SNAP, you are eligible for 250 free minutes and 1,000 free texts each month. Plus, new customers apply now and get 500 minutes for the first 3 months.
Together, we can do better.
Call 1-800-SAFELINK or visit safelink.com.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
When myths become reality, a lost city rises from the sea, and your vacation becomes legendary. Discover all the wonders of Atlantis, including Aquaventure Water Park and the thrill of the Atlantis Casino. Book now, and kids under 12 eat breakfast and dinner free with the purchase of an adult meal plan. Only at Atlantis.
We have two storms now off to the northwest of Lexington, Kentucky, one with damaging winds and hail, the other with a possible tornado. Let's take a look. Here's Lexington. So we're talking about in yellow, severe thunderstorm warning, in red, a tornado warning, well to the south of Cincinnati. Let's zoom in on that brand new tornado warning. It's one that's associated with a little bow echo, a comma shape, a little kickback here that you see, the hook, if you will. It's on the northwest side rather than the southwest side of the storm. And then there's this big squall line, bow echo, that's down near Georgetown and the Frankfort, Kentucky area. The tornado warning, Grant and Owen counties around the Corinth area. Taking a look at this one in detail, there it is sliding with that little appendage right about in there, and then it surges forward. So damaging winds likely with this, but cannot totally rule out a tornado. In fact, there is some rotation on that, the reds and the greens giving that counterclockwise circulation within that. And there's even another circulation could be going the opposite direction down on the other side of that bow echo. So possible tornadoes within that, and for that reason I've tracked it out here coming toward the Corinth area about 356. Right now it's around the Breck area and heading through the Natley area. So watch out for a possible tornado there in the circulation along. Could it be even some of these could even be rain wrapped. And then we have a storm that has damaging winds and hail down around the Frankfort, Georgetown, heading toward the Lexington area. So Mark and Kyla, things are going to get a little bit more active this afternoon in parts of Kentucky and probably will spread to a few adjacent states. Mark, Kyla?
All right. Thank you, Dr. Forbes. Well, now it is time for our top 5, where we take a look at all the amazing weather videos from around the world.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be getting severe weather imagery if you can send it to us safely, that's for sure. But we're starting things off on the kind of the quieter side of things. There were some morning storms in Galveston, Texas, but look at the sun kind of eking its way through the clouds.
Yeah, it's kind of a beautiful shot there. As you watch these storms, though, make their way ashore, it looks a little ominous here on this one. That storm getting its act together and rolling on in.
Yeah, you can really feel the motion of that storm. The rain sheets coming across the ocean there and that rotating movement of the cloud deck on top.
Let's go to our number 4 video. This one in Cleveland, Tennessee. And this is lightning from last night. You can check it out. Just lights up the sky. Beginning of the same severe weather storms that we're watching today, the same system.
Yeah, unbelievable how scary it is when you're just seeing nothing unless there's lightning. And you don't want lightning to be the only thing that's illuminating what could be ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when storms get dangerous, too, because you can't really see when something's coming at you. So that's why in the overnight hours tonight, we want to make sure everyone has a way of getting your watches and warnings.
Because that threat will continue into tonight. How about number 3? Speaking of severe weather, we've got hail in Crestwood, Kentucky. You feel kind of bad for these trucks, I guess, getting pinged there, but luckily this hail is small enough.
It's tiny, right?
Yeah.
So that hopefully won't cause any damage, because boy, if it were bigger, that would be an awful day to come back and find your vehicle damaged. But still, a little bit of a hassle if you're trying to get around and you're dealing with that. And today, a lot of places getting hail again.
Yeah, you don't want to drive on that if you can avoid it, because that's basically like trying to drive on marbles. It takes all the friction and that connection to the road out of the mix, and people get in accidents all the time when there's small hail like this.
Let's go to our number 2 video. This is kind of incredible. Look at this. Floods cascading through cars, right through them and over them in Montpellier, France. This is southeast France, and they were hit overnight with incredible heavy rain, severe flooding, and you can just see how dangerous it is. The water just running everywhere. So powerful.
Yeah, my goodness. And the real kicker is that this same area, more or less, saw flooding just like this about 2 weeks ago. This is the second in about 2 weeks. It's just extreme flooding, extreme rainfall amounts in that portion of France.
And we now go to our number 1 video of the day. It is a huge funnel cloud in Cullman, Alabama. This was from last night's severe weather. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, just an amazing scene, a scary scene, of course. And you know what? This same kind of complex of storms did produce a tornado in North Georgia last night as well.
It did. Well, we could love to show your videos. Of course, we want you to stay safe when taking them. You can upload them anytime at weather.com/photos. And speaking of severe weather, we want to take a live look at the radar now, because we do have some severe weather we're tracking right now. We expect this to continue as we go throughout the day. This is a tornado warning in northern Kentucky for Grant and Owen counties. Now is the time to take cover. And as you can see, that red box, the tornado warning, flanked by 2 yellow ones, the severe thunderstorm warnings.
Yeah, so Harrison and Scott counties, this is our newest tornado warning until 4:15. That same storm that Dr. Forbes was just analyzing moving east with that chance for tornadoes, if not 1, maybe 2 in that same cell.
Right, and remember, we're under a tornado watch for parts of Indiana, Kentucky, also heading into Ohio and West Virginia. So very dangerous weather. We're tracking this one forward to you, heading towards Cynthiana. Please be careful and take cover now, everyone.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Up to 6 times longer than the other leading brand.
Don't let back pain limit your life. I'm Arlene Mandrell of the Mandrell Sisters, and I'd like to share a solution with you.
Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurances. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
So what are you waiting for? Call Allied Home Medical now. 1-800-230-6099.
Sunday nights.
When the wind blows.
The Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low, 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. High, 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is our new turkey cranberry flatbread before we craft it into a sandwich. The amazingly tender roasted turkey, always raised without antibiotics. The zesty cranberry mostarda. The freshly baked flatbread. But here's what you don't always see. The care and attention that goes into it. Because what matters most is the simple, delicious ingredients that make up the whole delicious meal made just for you. And this is our turkey cranberry flatbread sandwich paired perfectly with our autumn squash soup. Only at Panera Bread.
It's a great day to try Panera Bread's Fuji Apple Chicken Salad.
It's here in your floor's crevices that vacuums leave microscopic allergens like these pollens and mold spores. But the Dyson DC65 uses a self-adjusting cleaner head for improved suction on hard floors and deep cleaning on carpets, while powerful cyclone technology captures even microscopic dirt and safely locks it all in here. DC65 sucks up more dust, dirt, and allergens than any other vacuum across carpets and hard floors.
Ring, ring. Progresso. I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding. Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress. Uh-huh. You don't love the dress? I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less. We all have to plan for retirement. But when we start worrying about tomorrow, we miss out on what matters today. At AXA, we offer advice and help you break down your retirement goals into small, manageable steps. Because when you plan for tomorrow, it helps you live for today.
Hey, Jennifer Fuzzmike, Trooper Money Slang. Aw, scram.
I'm Chris Mike, Juppy Robon, shall gonna lead up in Kisbet.
Peace charity, get town down.
For liver, toothpaste, dummy way.
Pop Hen should be still in our first.
Saxonini. But I'm ahead, Max's Gar and Jump a left, Flabba Jown.
Bro na brood.
What?
Catch up on what everyone's talking about with the X1 Entertainment Operating System. Preloaded with the latest episodes of the top 100 shows. Only from Xfinity.
When you told me about this Candy Crush game, at first I thought, so what? But now I can't stop playing.
That's not how it works.
I mean, it's so simple. It's like my car insurance. I saved 15% in 15 minutes.
Well, Esurance could have saved you money in half that time.
3 in a row. Sweet.
15 minutes for a quote isn't so sweet.
Level 2.
Start with a quote from Esurance and you can save money on car insurance in half the time. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
Or call 800-297-0549. For reservations, contact your travel professional.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
There's a tornado warning in Kentucky. The tornado circulation could be right near Corinth, Kentucky right now, heading east almost 50 miles per hour, so you need to be seeking shelter. Here is the tornado warning there in red. We'll focus on that one. We'll give more on the top of the hour about some of the adjacent severe thunderstorms. Take a look here, down well south of Cincinnati, up to the north of Georgetown. We're talking near Sadieville, the Corinth area. Grant and Owen counties have tornado warning. It's about ready to move out of there and then into the next counties over, which will be parts of Harrison and Scott counties. You can see here this little kink in the line, a little dog leg back and then forward. So right about in here, there is a circulation that could contain a tornado. That would be heading toward the Cynthiana, Kentucky area as well. There it is in the Doppler radar. The green's going northbound, the red southbound, and right there where they touch, there's a pretty tight circulation right about in there and all the way up into the Corinth area. So sliding along here, that could be getting pretty close now, probably just past the Natley area, getting within the next few minutes toward the Corinth area, and then if it holds together, some threat getting into the general vicinity of Cynthiana, Kentucky, there at about 4:16. There are some severe thunderstorms, new tornado warning for Lewis, Mason counties up into Adams County. So let me just slide along and see if we can get that one. That's a little farther off to the north and east. That's around the Maysville area. Separate line of storms there for Adams, Lewis, and Mason County. So we'll talk more about this at the top of the hour. Now we go to Michael Lowry for the tropics.
Thank you, Dr. Forrest. Got another type of severe weather to talk about. In this case, though, no land area is being impacted. This over the middle of the western Pacific Ocean. This is Super Typhoon Vongfong. This is a satellite picture taken from just a few hours ago, courtesy of our friends in the satellite division at NOAA. What's most amazing about this shot, it comes from our highest resolution satellite, but it was taken during the night hours, during the overnight hours, and it's all of these clouds that you're seeing here are illuminated by the moonlight. This storm, though, the strongest typhoon that we've seen since Super Typhoon Haiyan back last November. Let's talk a little bit more about this because you really don't get tropical cyclones as symmetrical and as perfect as this one. Really just a textbook, what we call an annular cyclone, meaning it's almost perfectly circular in nature. If you slice it right down the middle, the right half looks like the left half, and then you have that cloud-free eye right in the middle. Now this one is still a good ways from land, but it's moving pretty quickly here off toward the west, a little north of due west, and eventually it's going to hook back to the right toward Japan, and it's going to threaten that country this weekend. We're going to talk more about the forecast coming up in just a minute, but we do have other activity that we need to talk about, including a new area to watch here in the Atlantic Ocean, and then two areas in the eastern Pacific, an area just off the coast of Central America, and then Tropical Storm Simon. That one's going to bring some moisture and some rainfall to the southwest part of the United States later today and into tomorrow. Let's start in the Atlantic and then we'll get to Simon. This is that area to watch. The Hurricane Center is giving it a 20% chance, so still a low probability of this developing into a tropical depression or a tropical storm over the next few days. This is what it looks like on the visible picture. It's awfully close to land right now, and we're not seeing a collection of those showers and thunderstorms in any one place, sort of scattered all over the place, but you can see the general twisting and turning motion to the clouds. This is all associated with an area of low pressure that's off the coast of Costa Rica, and if I put on our wind flow at the surface, there it is, that turning here, broad turning. We're not seeing a very defined area of turning, and also the thunderstorms. Notice how they're up here and not down here. This is all related to the monsoon trough. That's that line of low pressure that extends from the Pacific Ocean into the Western Caribbean, and then you get these little areas of spin naturally because the winds are coming together in opposite direction, and that creates that spin in the atmosphere. The good news here, close to land, and really don't expect much from this, but if the pressures stay low, some of our computer models saying that maybe we could get something a little more intense later on as we go into, say, later in the month of October, but still a ways out, so plenty of time to watch that. Here is Simon, now becoming a post-tropical storm, meaning the thunderstorms, no longer seeing the thunderstorms around the area of circulation. It's still technically a tropical storm, 40 miles per hour. The official forecast takes its remnants up toward Arizona into eventually parts of the Four Corners and Colorado, getting mixed up in a cold front, and that will produce some potential for flooding as we move into Wednesday and Thursday. Kyle and Mark, back to you.
Thanks, and we are 1 minute away from the next hour of Weather Center Live, where we will track more severe weather.
Right, and you can see we have tornado warnings active right now. Adams, Lewis, and Mason County. Now is the time to take cover. We will have more as Weather Center Live continues in 60 seconds.
All right, 1 minute.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. High 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Center Live rolls on. Severe weather is the big story right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Kyla Grogan. So we want to take an in-depth look at what's happening with severe weather right now.
Yeah, in the lab, we have severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes. Right now, we've got a tornado watch in place until 9 o'clock over portions of the Ohio Valley. Let's take a look from the lab and see what's happening in this area right now.
Yeah, we have 2 storms, Mark, that have tornado warnings within them. One is a little farther in the northeast than the other. This is the storm that's been the oldest. In fact, the one we've been watching the most is the tail end of the 3 storms here that have warnings. It has a severe thunderstorm warning, then in red, a couple of tornado warnings. We've been trying to regroup our radar frames here to accommodate this. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to get, but this is live television, folks. So the storms, the problem is we've updated the radars, and so this storm has disappeared from us. We have the storm that's moving off toward the east here. Tornado warning from Harrison and Scott counties still in effect. A tornado warning is in place there, coming across the area generally towards Cynthiana in Kentucky. This last frame here is definitely showing the northbounds in the pastel green colors, the southbounds in the red colors. So heading toward the Cynthiana area, a broad area of rotation inside this tornado warning with a couple of circulations within that, and we're not getting very good coverage on the radar at the moment from that. We'll try to get that fixed up for you. Coming towards Cynthiana, Kentucky, about 4:16. Then the newest tornado warning, it's in a line of storms, a little bit of shear, a little bit of a kink in the line off to the west of Maysville. We're talking about tornado warning in Kentucky there for Adams, Lewis, and Mason counties. It's going to go down to the south of Concord, Kentucky. And zooming in here, this is the first of the storms. I was trying to rearrange this, didn't get totally finished with it. This is the first of the tornado warning storms. At least this one shows the full radar configuration. So it's a little kink in the line with the best of the circulations here, but the radar itself, which is partly why we're trying to rearrange, it's updating a little slowly. So at this point, the circulation is probably about in here, moving off into the general area of Cynthiana in Kentucky. Then we have an additional severe thunderstorm warning. It's the oldest of the storms. BOECO, we've been watching all the way from north and west of Louisville. That's down into Bourbon, Fayette, and Scott counties in Kentucky. And again, the 3 warnings that we're seeing here with the last of the warnings off toward the north and east. So I'm not sure where we're going here. This things are all totally messed up. So let's go back to the studio to Mark and Kyla if they're ready to take it here. We'll try to get our stack here rearranged and then get back to you as soon as we can. Mark and Kyla?
Absolutely, I've got it, Dr. Forbes. Let's talk about what's happening right now in Hartford, Connecticut, where it's not looking bad at all as we're along the Connecticut River. However, tonight in the overnight hours, you are one of the places that needs to be on the lookout for these same storms, this same system that is producing tornado warnings right now that Dr. Forbes was telling you about. So we take a look at the wall here, and you can see that area from Boston down to Washington, D.C. So that includes Hartford, that includes New York City, places that have to be on the lookout from about midnight tonight. And also you see the area in red back near West Virginia. That is another part of the country that has to be on the lookout. So let's time this out for you. And again, if we look at the New York City area for an example here, it's about from midnight till 5 a.m. that we can see those strong wind gusts, the intense lightning, heavy downpours coming your way. So that is the overnight hours. That means that, yes, you will probably be home, but you could also be asleep. So it's a great idea to make sure that your watches and warnings are activated through your Weather Channel app. Make sure you have a way of getting that information if in the middle of the night your neighborhood is the one that has a tornado warning. Now let's head north to Boston, where you can see the timing here will be a little bit later in the overnight hours. So we're talking 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. where all of this nasty weather's coming your way to Beantown. But hey, this could also be a part of your commute tomorrow morning if you're a person who, say, hits the road around 6:30 or 7 a.m. So again, make sure that you have all the information you need so that you can stay safe. Mark.
We continue to follow a story from the other side of the world, Kyla, over in Japan, where researchers have recovered the second body of a missing U.S. serviceman. Crews have been out searching since Sunday when the 3 airmen in Okinawa were swept out to sea thanks to huge waves churned up from Typhoon Phaphon. The Air Force has not released details of what happened, but the men were believed to be taking pictures when the waves hit. They've been identified now as Joshua Schoenhoff, an active-duty Air Force Staff Sergeant with the 461st Air Control Wing, and Air National Guard Master Sergeants James Schwartz and Daniel Pascal. The men were from Robins Air Force Base in Georgia. The body of James Schwartz was the first to be recovered. A family friend issued a statement calling him, quote, an awesome father, husband, and a great Christian man. A message posted on the Facebook page of the Schoenhoff's family church says the group was walking on a rocky coastline when one of them was swept into the sea and the other 2 reportedly jumped in to try to save their friend. Now, a super typhoon could take the same track near Japan, and more on that in about 15 minutes when we bring you the full tropical update.
Plus, people are still cleaning up in Arizona after flooding that hit a few weeks ago. More rain could be headed their way. We're going to talk about the steps that Arizona officials are taking to head off another flooding threat.
And of course, we're still following severe weather of the more classical springtime nature in the fact that we could have very strong winds, hail, and even tornadoes in the overnight hours tonight. And that includes the I-95 corridor, D.C., Philly, New York, Providence, even Boston by morning. You could have severe weather.
Right. And remember, this is the overnight hours we're talking about. So from about midnight till 8 a.m. These are very big population centers. So it's important that everybody spread the word to their friends and neighbors that this severe weather is coming your way. I also want to point out West Virginia, you could be in line for this as well as we head into the later evening overnight hours.
Yeah, a separate severe weather zone has already begun across the Ohio Valley. So for the rest of today, Tennessee, Kentucky, into West Virginia, wind, hail, and tornadoes possible here. In fact, there's a tornado watch up for many of these same locations right now.
Indeed, and we have tornado-warned storms in the area in northern Kentucky as well. We're going to continue to track this severe weather. Dr. Greg Forbes is in-house, and we will have more as Weather Center Live continues.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back.
Sir?
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
My goal was to finally get in shape. Not to be focusing again on my moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis. So I finally made a decision to talk to my dermatologist about Humira. Humira works inside my body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to my symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis saw 75% skin clearance on Humira, and the majority of people were clear or almost clear in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Set a new goal today. Ask your dermatologist about Humira, because with Humira, clear skin is possible.
This October, Ghost Hunters is back for a 10th anniversary celebration, including the 200th episode, with the biggest Ghost Hunter surprise in a decade. Grant returns to Taps for one of their most intense investigations ever.
This is a trip.
Ghost Hunters. All new episodes premiere tomorrow at 9, part of Sci-Fi's 31 Days of Halloween.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, considerable cloudiness. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. High 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Let's do a reality check. Kids will be kids. Dogs will be dogs. So let's get some paint that's more than just paint. Made to stand up to this and look beautiful for years. Let's lose the old marks and messes and stop new ones in their tracks. Let's worry-proof our walls. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Behr Premium Plus with Easy Clean Finish starting at $25.97 a gallon.
Severe weather continues to develop, including tornadoes. Some new images coming out of Frankfort, Kentucky. Look at that lowered base of that storm cloud. That's the area that we would be watching for rotation to develop and possibly funnels or tornadoes. In fact, there are tornado-warned storms around this area right now. Here's another view of that ominous sky. You can really feel that juxtaposition between the bright green leaves and that really dark gray of the clouds. Here's some of the storms that we're watching right now. Here's Maysville. Right along the Ohio-Kentucky border, there's a tornado warning for Adams, Lewis, and Mason counties until 4:30. Very fast-moving storm. So if you're in this area, do not wait to take shelter. Do not wait to try to see the rotation or see the tornado. That's a common myth. You want to take shelter now if you are in this tornado-warned zone. Lots of rotation being indicated on the radar. No spotters saying there's a tornado on the ground with this storm yet, but it could happen at any point, and that's going to be the trend today as we continue to monitor these storms. So, Kyla, a lot to watch as we go through the rest of this afternoon.
Phoenix saw scenes like this as tropical and monsoon rains poured into the southwest a few weeks ago. Check out Interstate 10 back in September when the remnants of Hurricane Norbert closed highways across the city. Now more rain and the potential for dangerous flooding is in the forecast later this week, even though parts of the state are still cleaning up. So now let's get an update from the Arizona Department of Transportation, and joining us on the phone is Doug Ninsel. And Doug, thank you for joining us, and let's talk about some of that damage that's left behind from our prior flooding problems.
That's right, Kyla. You know, we had damage certainly caused by erosion of some of the landscaped areas along the slopes that are next to our Phoenix area freeways. Obviously, the water did drain away after the Norbert remnants struck us, but we've also dealt with downed trees throughout the Phoenix area. So these are things that we've had to take a look at, and also clearing out some of the drainage channels, because sometimes debris, including including mud, can build up. So we have to take a look at the box culverts that travel and allow the runoff to flow below our freeways and also out along our rural highways.
So obviously those are some of the things that you're doing to kind of get ready in case there's more flooding, but talk to us about the pump system on your major highways and how that works, because not everywhere in the country has that, but in Phoenix you definitely are prepared with those. How do those work when the flooding begins?
Well, the pump stations are located along freeways where they are needed. They are basically positioned every mile interchange and in the areas where we have lower-lying interchanges, lower-lying spots along the freeways. The runoff does drain into the drainage system along the freeway, and those pump stations are designed to lift the water away from that level and deliver it either into a diversion channel or into an area where the water can be stored until it goes further on down the line. So we do have the pump stations ready to go. We will keep an eye on things. Some of those structures are aging, and we do have to keep an eye on the engines, but our crews will be prepared to react as the storm moves in.
My goodness, such a slow-motion disaster across the Southwest, right? Because here we go again, tropical downpours in the Southwest. Once again, we are seeing that potential for very hefty rains. In Tucson, you've been hit now 3 times. Norbert gave you almost 2 inches of rain. Odile gave you 1/3 of an inch, and the forecast from Simon's leftovers another 1/2 inch of rainfall. And we're already seeing rain streaming on in. This is the California-Arizona border. Up here is Nevada, and heavy rain is already started. This is out ahead of the main circulation, which is still down here. So the moisture is going to really be moving on in through Thursday. That moisture will be on the increase across the Southwest. So heavy rain, thunderstorms with locally heavy downpours all the way through Thursday. And you know what? Days of storms here. Not only tonight, where we're already seeing those showers and storms, but over the next several days, this area just kind of stretches out a little bit further. So heavy rain, Yuma, Phoenix, Flagstaff for, let's say, tomorrow, and by Thursday, going all the way up towards the Denver area. And some of these rainfall totals will wind up being extremely impressive. Several inches of rain possible within this region, and that would be enough, Kyla, for some flooding.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mark. Ahead on Weather Center Live, deja vu in the South Pacific. Millions are threatened once again as a massive super typhoon spins toward Kadena Air Base in Japan. We are tracking the most intense Western Pacific typhoon of 2014. We'll have all of the details. Plus, we're tracking severe weather happening right now when Weather Center Live continues.
Our Name Your Price tool helps. Oh, Jamie, you got a little something on the back of your shoe there. Price tag.
Danger. Price tag. Alert. Price tag.
Hey, guys.
Price tag. Alert.
Is this normal? Well, Progressive is a price tag free zone. We let you tell us what you want to pay, and we help you find options to fit your budget.
Alert.
Where are they taking them?
Price tag. Alert.
I don't know.
This seems excessive.
Decontamination in progress.
I don't want to tell you guys your job, but...
Policies without the price tags. Now that's Progressive.
At H.H. Greg's Columbus Day sale, save up to 25% store-wide. Plus, get a gift card up to $500 with purchase. Thousands of brand-name appliances in stock. Samsung to Whirlpool to Maytag. Save up to 25% store-wide on Smart, Energy Star stainless steel appliances. Plus, get a gift card up to $500 for the holidays. H.H. Gregg, appliances, electronics, and furniture. Great deals in stores and at hhgregg.com.
I use it to stay in touch with work and my kids.
SafeLink, the free phone program, free cell, free text, and free minutes, is your connection to safety. If you qualify for programs such as SNAP, you are eligible for 250 free minutes and 1,000 free texts each month. Plus, new customers apply now and get 500 minutes for the first 3 months.
Together, we can do better.
Call 1-800-SAFELINK or visit safelink.com.
When myths become reality, a lost city rises from the sea, and your vacation becomes legendary. Discover all the wonders of Atlantis, including Aquaventure Water Park and the thrill of the Atlantis Casino. Book now, and kids under 12 eat breakfast and dinner free with the purchase of an adult meal plan. Only at Atlantis.
This This October, Ghost Hunters is back for a 10th anniversary celebration, including the 200th episode with the biggest Ghost Hunter surprise in a decade. Grant returns to Taps for one of their most...
Hey, what's up? How's it going? What are you doing? I can't believe you're watching this without me. We agreed we'd catch up on everything tonight. If I did this to you, you'd murder me in my sleep. You know what? Just watch it by yourself. I can't not know when I know that you know.
The latest episodes of the top 100 shows are preloaded and ready to watch with Xfinity On Demand. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Let's face it, life happens on your wood floors. And well, life can be hard on them. So to keep them beautiful, despite life's little ups and downs, trust Bona for quick and easy everyday cleaning, long-lasting shine, and a lifetime of protection. Safe for your floors, Green Guard certified for a healthier home. Everyday solutions for clean and beautiful floors, no matter what. Bona, recommended by professionals since 1919.
And shipping is always free.
Visit DealDash.com and start bidding today.
7 a.m. on AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low, 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. High, 86. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Severe thunderstorms are rolling across northeast parts of Kentucky. We've had a number of reports of trees down across the area. Even still, one tornado warning. Let's take a look here. We're talking about areas south and east of Cincinnati over in the northeast parts of Kentucky in red. Tornado warning. Mostly now along that line of thunderstorms, severe thunderstorm warning. So let's zoom in on that. You saw that a lot of that, those streamlines, those white lines, the southwest flow fueling the instability for the storms. Very strong winds also. And so the storms have been turning quickly into bow echoes like this one. Tornado warning. Newest warning now for Adams, Lewis, and Scioto counties there. Scioto is in the extreme southern part of Ohio. The others are in Kentucky as this storm pretty close to the Ohio River there, heading off toward the south and east. About 35 miles per hour, not quite as fast as the others that are going 45 or so. Lewis County, it's about ready to move out of there. The tornado circulation is in this little notch right about in there, getting close to the Vanceburg area, which is just across the border there from the Ohio River down into Kentucky. Here's the situation, a couple of areas there. The Vanceburg area about 437. It's right about Poplar Flat right now, heading toward the Clarksburg area there in Kentucky at about 434. Then we did have a tornado warning for this storm that's off to the north and east of the Cynthiana area. And now severe thunderstorm warnings all across there, and then down into another bow that is down in the Bourbon, Harrison, and Nicholas counties areas of Ohio. That basically storm there has pushed out ahead of the one that had the tornado warning, so the circulation is weakened. And another bow echo. This is the one we've been following all the way since it was north and west of Louisville, Kentucky, and Indiana. Right now, Bourbon, Clark, and Nicholas counties, a damaging wind threat there coming in with this bow echo that will head down toward the Owingsville area, the Jeffersonville area, the Frenchburg area. So some storms there, packing hail up to 1 inch in diameter, damaging wind gusts, and a chance of a tornado. If you get a tornado warning, stay inside the lowest innermost portion of sturdy building. If you have a helmet, put that on your head. Now let's go to Michael Lowry for a look at the tropics.
Thank you, Dr. Forbes. We're watching the Western Pacific right now for this very intense super typhoon. This is actually the strongest hurricane, cyclone, typhoon that we've seen since Super Typhoon Haiyan back in November of last last year. Here's Vong Fong. Now, the good news is, unlike the severe weather, it's not over land. It's over the middle of the open ocean, but eventually it will threaten Japan this weekend. But right now, look at this, about as symmetrical and as perfectly formed as a tropical cyclone can get. The maximum winds estimated at about 155 to 170 miles per hour, which makes this a Category 5 equivalent storm. Now, it's what we call annular, meaning the circulation itself, the storms around the center, are symmetrical and circular in nature. And there's only a handful of these. About 4% of our tropical systems actually become annular. And oftentimes I'm asked, well, how strong is this compared to Katrina? Well, here's your answer. The Katrina on the left here, this is when Katrina was just to the south of Louisiana as a Category 5 hurricane, and this is Vong Fong on the right. And you can see how the red colors much more pronounced on the right photo than on the left photo, meaning that Vong Fong is definitely stronger than Katrina was, and also a very large storm. Let's talk about what annular hurricanes mean. Well, it means very symmetrical. It also means they have a large eye, and they're often, always actually, very intense. Those winds always above 130 miles per hour. And here's the big thing. If you're a forecaster, if you like to forecast hurricanes, these storms take a long time to wind down. They weaken very, very slowly, and that is the concern with this one, because not only is it formed in ideal conditions, it's over the very, very warm ocean waters. It will continue to be over those warm ocean waters for the next few days. So here's the forecast from the Typhoon Warning Center, and the cone takes it over or very near Okinawa and Kadena Air Base, where 25,000 plus U.S. servicemen and women are stationed on Thursday into Friday. So I think if you're over there, if you have family members over there, they can expect to see, at the very least, tropical storm conditions, hurricane force winds, 74 miles per hour, heavy rainfall that Thursday, Friday, and then by Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be moving up into parts of southern Japan. Again, though, still as a pretty formidable storm, 105 mile per hour typhoon. So this is one that certainly we're going to want to watch here over the next few days, and our computer model is showing this is not just a point on the map here. Even if it does begin to weaken, its impacts are going to be wide felt. So unfortunately for Japan, possibly the second typhoon to hit them in just a week. Mark and Kyla, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. It also means a huge fetch of open water for more huge waves to build, so that'll be a continuing story as well. Plus, severe weather still in the forecast tonight, including New York and Boston.
Ahead on Weather Center Live, the timing and the potential impacts. We have got you covered with all the information you need to stay safe. That's right after your local on the 8th.
This is our new turkey cranberry flatbread before we craft it into a sandwich. The amazingly tender roasted turkey, always raised without antibiotics. The zesty cranberry mostarda. The freshly baked flatbread. But here's what you don't always see. The care and attention that goes into it. Because what matters most is the simple, delicious ingredients that make up the whole delicious meal made just for you. And this is our turkey cranberry flatbread sandwich, paired perfectly with our autumn squash soup. Only at Panera Bread.
It's a great day to try Panera Bread's Fuji Apple Chicken Salad.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Thanks, Melinda.
I have blah blah insurance, so person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. Now look who it is.
I see who it is.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
You're not helping.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you anytime, anywhere, anyway. That's getting to a better state.
When we're having this much fun, why quit? And Bounty has no quit in it either. Watch how one sheet of Bounty keeps working, while their 2 sheets just quit. Bounty, the no-quit picker-upper.
Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery's Red, White, and Blue sale with Columbus Day savings on recliners, sofas, sectionals, and more. Save on America's #1 name for comfort. Hurry, these savings won't last long. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
is how it feels to hotwire.
The Piano Guys. The YouTube sensations return with their new album, Wonders, featuring the popular video tracks Kung Fu Piano and Let It Go from the movie Frozen. Available for the first time on CD. Available now.
7 a.m. on AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel. The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low, 75. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. High, 86. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Well, as severe weather continues to develop, we continue to get new sights from the area. Look at that lowered cloud base. My goodness, that's a frightening scene. That is between Eminence and Shelbyville, Kentucky. The dark gray, ominous sky lowering down towards the ground. Wall cloud, pretty evident there.
Yeah, and this is the area where we have had tornado-warned storms this afternoon. This one as well, taken in Frankfort, Kentucky. And again, a bit of a zoomed-out look, but you still see the same effect of those clouds really lowering to the ground. Very dangerous weather today, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us here on Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Kyla Grogan. So we want to take a look at the area of the country that we're focused in on right now for severe weather. We do have a tornado watch, and you can see that it is until 9 p.m. for parts of Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and also West Virginia.
Yeah, active storms have been popping across this area, possibly a secondary zone of severe weather towards I-95 late tonight, including D.C., Philly, New York, Boston by morning. So lots to keep an eye on here at the Weather Channel for the next 12 hours.
Now, for an in-depth look at the threat for millions of people through tomorrow morning, we want to head over to our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. He's live in the lab. Dr. Forbes.
And Kyla, we are going to get both wall clouds and shelf clouds today. Wall clouds are those low-hanging clouds like a layer of a birthday cake. It comes down below the prevailing cloud base. That's associated with the rotating part of one of these supercell thunderstorms. We also have these storms that are gusting out today, so their rain-cooled air comes in like a snowplow, and the cloud rises up along that. So you can get shelf clouds. If they're rotating, they're probably a wall cloud. If it just looks like they're not rotating, going up, that's probably a shelf cloud associated with those gust front, those strong winds that are pushing in. And we have both of those, a number of severe thunderstorm warnings there in yellow, and then in red, a tornado warning. We've had with that tornado warned storm some trees down, some lines down, some roof damage in Maysville, Kentucky. I have also on here the streamlines. These are showing the low-level surface wind flow just above, a few feet above the ground. Gulf of Mexico moisture coming in at the surface from the south-southwest, while aloft the winds are from the west-northwest. So there's definitely that turning of the winds with height and getting very fast at mid-levels today. That turning allows the storms to develop some rolling motions that can give you those shelf clouds, as well as that rolling motion get tilted into the vertical and give you the rotating storms with the wall cloud. So let's start with the tornado warned storm. It too is gusting out. Can you see it's almost a line now? We don't have those appendages like with the hook echoes that are characteristic of the supercells, but there's some shifting winds on the leading edge of that, so we could get a tornado there. We're talking about, and the storms are moving so fast that my warnings sometimes slide off there, but Adams, Lewis, and Scioto counties, Scioto is in Ohio, Adams and Lewis in Kentucky, right around the Vanceburg area right now would be one of the locations that have that possible tornado, and it's right about at Vanceburg right now, heading toward the Garrison area about 4:43, and then the Rexton area about 4:49. Possible tornado, almost a higher chance probably of damaging wind gusts that may have the same punch as a weak tornado. Then this storm earlier had been tornado warned. You can see it's turned into a little comma-shaped bow echo here heading toward Flemingsburg, Kentucky. Bath, Fleming, and Rowan counties. Severe thunderstorm warnings for you. Hail up to 1 inch in diameter, damaging winds. And I took a slice of that storm. Most of the action is right in here, the heavy rain and hail, and it's not very tall. In this slice, west to east, this is 30,000, maybe 35,000 feet at most. Sometimes we're up to 55. So these are not real tall today. They're driven by colder air aloft, that jet stream disturbance I talked about, but the anvils blow way off to the east in this case of the storms. Then taking a look a little bit farther down the line, additional severe thunderstorms building their way down into central Kentucky, Bath, Fleming, and Rowan counties with severe warnings. And this bow echo that we've watched all the way from northwest of Louisville now is coming into the eastern parts of Kentucky. Bath, Fleming, Rowan counties, severe thunderstorm warnings there. And more by itself down around the Mount Vernon and Waynesburg, Kentucky areas, Garrett and Lincoln counties with severe warnings, and a brand new warning now extended farther to the east for Jackson, Laurel, and Rockcastle county. So storms are getting a little bit more numerous, building their way southbound. I mentioned that jet stream disturbance. You can see in the water vapor satellite imagery how the winds, the motion comes in here from the northwest. There's a bit of a disturbance now. It's pushed its way into Indiana. Ahead of that, the rising motion, the clouds. Behind that, the sinking motion in the brown colors. And so that's what's going to head its way toward the mid-Atlantic later tonight and give the possibility of yet another round of severe thunderstorms separate from the current one. Here is that jet stream, the dip in the jet stream. By tonight, that Indiana disturbance heads its way toward Pennsylvania and New York. The west winds aloft coming in fast at mid-levels. South winds coming in now off the Atlantic for this part of the country. Again, that turning of the winds with height. I'm thinking mostly a damaging wind threat tonight, but about a torque-on of 20% chance of a tornado within 50 miles. Maybe Washington, D.C., but a good bit of Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, southern New York, over into southern parts of New England with those spotty damaging winds tonight. Some locally heavy rain, lightning, and then tomorrow picking up in the morning at least and working its way into eastern Massachusetts. And then in the northwest flow, another round, probably mainly hail tomorrow afternoon and evening, parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. So kind of a stormy pattern. Sometimes storms ahead of the disturbances, sometimes in the northwest flow behind them. Mark?
And Doc, a separate storm system that will bring severe weather through much of the country. Heavy rain ahead from the southwest all the way into the plains, tied back, believe it or not, to the tropics. Here's what's left from Simon, but the moisture already going north on in towards the Four Corners. In fact, we can use a high-resolution model to kind of time out the positioning of the heaviest rains Tuesday morning, southern Arizona, by Wednesday morning, northern Arizona, and then by late Wednesday getting into Colorado and New Mexico. And because of this tropical moisture, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain across much of the Arizona, but look at this, 2 to 3 inches for portions of the Front Range, and then stretched out further, tying into that same area that Dr. Forbes was just talking about, which will have Gulf of Mexico moisture coming into play, as well as that tropical moisture along that stationary boundary. So you have to pay attention to the tropics, even in the center of the country. So scattered storms and severe weather Thursday over the plains. By Thursday night, we're going to continue to see on again, off again showers and storms, some of which could be heavy at times. And Friday, yeah, more of the same areas seeing these storms. So when all is said and done here in the center of the country, several inches of rain possible. Several areas could see between 3 and 5 inches of rain. So flooding a concern with a tropical tie-in. Kyla, over to you.
Thank you, Mark. Hey, the weather turned deadly in Texas after strong winds blew trees down in the Houston area. As storm specialist Carl Parker shows us, it happened when two thunderstorms clashed together.
It was a very rough early afternoon in the Houston metro area. A lot of reports of trees down and strong wind. And here's a look at some of those trees that came down with those thunderstorms yesterday afternoon. We actually saw a cell merger, a couple of them, right across the Houston metro. And that was part of the reason why these winds were so strong. And let's take a look at the radar loop here and notice that there's this line that's coming down ahead of this big group of storms right there. That is what's called an outflow boundary. So that's the leading edge edge of cooler air. Then also notice these storms, they really blow up right as that line comes down. So it's helping to lift the atmosphere and make those storms even stronger. And that is right about where there was, unfortunately, a fatality due to a falling tree that came down across an SUV there in Spring. You also notice the cell coming up from the south right in here, outflow boundary associated with that. They collide in there. Then we see very intense storms right where that southern storm comes up and collides with the northern line, fortunately over less populated areas of the Houston Metro, northeast Harris County, and southern parts of Liberty County. But very strong storms coming from different directions, and because of those cell mergers, those collisions, they ended up being very strong, producing damaging wind for a period of time yesterday. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Carl. Our top 5 videos of the day are next.
Yeah, we've got not only severe weather that'll make an appearance in the top 5, but look at this. Imagine your car being trapped in extreme flooding. We'll show you where this happened coming up.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under cloudy skies.